Hello, Kathy Rose here. I'm going to talk to you about the new moon in Gemini, June 18th, 12:37 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I'm talking to you from my new office. We have just gone through a major move, so I'm putting out this video a little later than I normally would. But don't worry about that. Understand that this new moon in Gemini is a pivotal, powerful statement. It is part of an acceleration that is happening right now in humanity, in our development. This is such a profound statement with this new moon. I want to take some time and really go through it with you. So let's look at the chart first and look at the basic statement here. You can see that I have annotated two aspects on the screen. And even if you don't know how to read a chart, the basics of these two powerful red aspect lines says it all, really. So we have the sun and the moon in Gemini. Gemini is an air sign in the mutable modality. It deals with thinking, logic, communication, analyzation. It likes facts. It's very linear in its thinking. And we have Mercury in Gemini also. And the sun and the moon are square to Neptune in Pisces, and then Mercury, which is the ruler of Gemini, so it's very powerful there, it's a communication planet, is square to Saturn in Pisces. Now, this dynamic of those three Gemini planets squaring those two Pisces planets, this says it all. The Piscean energy is very, very different from Gemini energy. Piscean energy is a water sign, first of all, and it's compassionate. It's abstract. It's nonlinear. It's intuitive. It's spiritual. It's emotional. It's creative, but it's creative in an abstract, formless, meandering sort of way. It's visionary. Gemini is very, very different. Gemini is logical. Gemini is information-based. Give me the information. Let me categorize it. Let me communicate it. Let me share it. But it's very logical. So these squares that are taking place during this new moon are saying, how can we get these two parts to work together? How can we use our spirituality and our awareness of higher dimensions, our awareness of our intuition and our connection with the universe with our desire to have facts and logic and analytical energy? How can we use them together? And part of this is kind of finding resolution through what's happening with the two planets in Leo in this chart. We have Venus in Leo and Mars in Leo during this lunation. Venus is staying in Leo for an extra long time because it's going to retrograde. So it won't leave Leo until October, when normally it stays in a sign for a little over a month. And for this lunation, this new moon in Gemini, Mars is in Leo. Mars is going to stay in Leo until July. And so these two planets in Leo are offering us the confidence and the authority to take charge of our thinking. That's the important statement here. And I want to go through this a little bit with you by just reminding you of some basics about how your mind works. I'm sure most of you listening already know this, but sometimes it's important just to refresh. So in our mind, which is a Gemini issue here, we have the conscious and the subconscious, and each part of our mind has a specific role that it performs. We're going to talk first about the conscious part of our mind. And this is the part of us that is aware, that we are aware of most of the time. The conscious mind is logical, judgmental, analytical, and critical. And the conscious mind is the part of us that can get over-involved in wanting to control. So then we have to think of why. What triggers the conscious mind to have an urge to over-control? Well, usually it's due to a lack of a specific kind of confidence. Again, remember what I said about Venus and Mars being in Leo, the confidence builders, the authority, that these two planets in Leo want to develop for us. So sometimes the urge to over control comes from a lack of confidence in knowing that things are going to work out. Sometimes it comes from a lack of confidence in the orderliness of the universe. Sometimes it's a lack of confidence in our own very creative ability to cope with what occurs and to achieve a successful conclusion. Think about that. We've all been there, and it takes work to develop the confidence in knowing things are going to work out and knowing we have creative abilities to bring about a successful conclusion, even if there are challenges, even if there's stress, even if there's a gigantic change in plans. And then that core confidence in the orderliness of the universe. These are all talking about foundational beliefs that need to be developed. One of the foundational beliefs that I live by is things always work out for me. And recently I have added one word to that. Things always work out for me easily. And I try to live by that. I energize that every day. And that I am up to the task of handling what life brings, that calms the conscious mind down. Now, the subconscious mind is what all of those Piscean planets are talking about here. The subconscious part of us has a memory of events that have occurred, and it operates as our obedient servant. There's no stronger way to say that. The subconscious mind is our obedient servant. It creates that which it is commanded to create. And it doesn't argue. It takes everything we say literally via our thoughts. It wants to please us, and it does so by following our commands, which are delivered by our thoughts. Recently, I had a client who was going through a very stressful time, a very challenging time. And one of the things she said is, this stress that I'm going through, it's just making me sick. And it's just killing me that I'm going through this. And I'm just so sick of it. And she kept saying things like that. I'm sick of it. It's killing me. I'm so tired of it, and on and on and on. And these are common phrases we've heard through the years, right? Well, when we say them out loud repetitively, and that's what I asked her, are these phrases you say repetitively? And she said, oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I'm just worried sick about a lot of things every single day. And I said, is that the reality you want to create? You might want to change how you are saying that. I mean, it's one thing to feel, yes, I'm very, very stressed out, but you might not want to continue to energize that it's killing you. The subconscious mind takes it literally. So it's changing your habits. That's the benefit of this of this new moon in Gemini. That's the benefit. So really, it is the thought of giving your energy to what you want for the majority of each and every day. The majority of your energy going to what you want, not what you don't want. Your statements focused on what you want to create, not what you are afraid of or that you are trying to avoid or that you don't want. Right now, we are in a phase of humanity, a phase of accelerated development where the body-mind-spirit connection is blasting wide open. And we are in the beginning of a new 200-year cycle where we're going to understand that our thoughts do have energy and that we are shaping our reality with our thoughts each and every day. That is why in that new moon chart, Saturn in Pisces was square Mercury in Gemini, saying, hold yourself accountable for where your energy is flowing. So I usually call the new moon in Gemini the affirmation moon, because it's the perfect time for you to start thinking of creating some mantras that you can say every day, or affirmation statements so that you take the principle of the creative power of the subconscious mind and you form it into action. So consider creating some new positive phrases that are specific to the outcome that you desire. And understand that these affirmation statements are going beyond the reality of the present into the creation of the future by the words we are using in the now. You are creating the future with every word you are saying. That principle of creative energy is so phenomenally important. And again, this is giving your thoughts value. So it's the concept of today is the future that I created yesterday. Taking that into account, but holding yourself accountable for what you are creating. So my final thoughts. It's the power of the mind, the power of the creative potential of your words and your thoughts. And remember, it's something I've said in other videos. I'm going to say it again real quick right now. That right now it seems that sound waves are particularly powerful in speeding up manifestation. So when you say something out loud, as often as possible in everyday conversation, make sure you are voicing what you want. In everyday conversation, find a way to weave in some of your basic, very positive beliefs. So if you're talking about like the fact that we just bought a new house and moved, and it was a big deal, and it was new construction. So we went through the building of the house. And as often as possible, as I was talking to my clients or friends, I would say, our new house is blessed and everything is going to work in our favor. Everything's going to work out perfectly. Our move is blessed. I would say these things out loud because I wanted to engage the sound waves to bring that creative energy into form. And it did work out well, by the way. We could say, this is an extreme statement, I understand, but if you realize how powerful your thoughts are, you would never have another negative thought again, which is very difficult, of course. I'm not saying you can never have another negative thought, because we do go through challenges. You know, this three-dimensional world we're in is a school, and this school has tests and pop quizzes and challenges and final exams and everything else. But it's just that you want to have the majority of your thoughts flowing positively, creating the future that you want, creating the reality that you want. And the negative thoughts that may come in if you go through a challenge or a stressful period, you just don't over-energize them. You feel your feelings, you let it go. You voice it if you need to voice it. You share it if you need to share it. And then you let it go and you get back to the positive and understand that the potential that we have right now, the acceleration we're going through, is as humans, as a collective wave of conscious beings, is phenomenal. It is potent and it's beautiful. And it's about learning this very thing. Thoughts do have energy. Our beliefs do create our reality. And we need to teach our conscious mind that we are safe, that we are supported, and that we are capable of achieving a positive outcome in any situation by energizing what we want. All right, so as usual, I am blessing you. I am sending you much love, and I look forward to seeing you at the July forecast. Bye for now.